What's up, everyone? Today we are making Mariski and Scooge media, or LMS plant media. This recipe is specifically for cacti and is for 500 milliliters, not a liter. It has no hormones. No hormone LMS media is good for starting seeds and for your plantlets. 500 milliliter usually yields us around 7 cups of media. Let's get started. Digital scale that measures to 1/100th of a gram. A stir plate is optional. You can stir by hand. A pH meter with pH up and down. Plant agar specifically for the micropropagation of plants. LMS media with vitamins. Distilled water. Sugar. Media bottles. Containers to mix in. A pressure cooker for sterilizing. And activated charcoal, which is optional. Using charcoal helps to remove toxins released by the plants and prevents browning and death. First, we're going to start with 400 milliliters of water. Go ahead and get that stirring on our stir plate before we add 2.27 grams of LMS media. The LMS media is a nutrient solution used to cultivate plant cells and tissues. We'll go ahead and let that get completely dissolved into our water before adding the next ingredient. Next, we'll add 15 grams of sugar. The sugar is the energy source that will help plants to grow. And again, we let all these ingredients get completely dissolved before adding the next one. Next ingredient is our agar. We are specifically using plant agar, which is for the micropropagation of plants. It's very important to use this grade of agar and not just the regular telephone agar that you can get out of the grocery store. And the last ingredient we'll be adding is 1 gram of charcoal. I'm going to go ahead and turn the stir plate off so the water can level out before we top it off to 500 milliliters. Once we get it topped off, I'm going to go ahead and turn the stir plate back on before we pH. Next, we'll be pHing the solution. It is helpful to have the solution constantly stirring as you're making your adjustments. Your readings will be much more accurate this way. If you don't have a stir plate, just occasionally stir it as you're making your adjustments to make sure that your readings are accurate. Once the reading on your pH meter has settled, we go ahead and make our adjustments. Typically, we always need to adjust the pH down, so I'll add some pH down solution until we reach a pH of 5.8. Once you've got the pH to 5.8, always rinse your pH meter in clean distilled water. Make sure the diode is completely clean before you let it air dry. I'm going to go ahead and transfer the solution into our media bottle for sterilizing. I'm going to first remove the stir bar. As I'm pouring the solution into the media bottle, I'm going to make sure I keep stirring the solution so the charcoal that is suspended in the water doesn't sink to the bottom and all gets into the media bottle. When I put the cap onto the bottle, I'm going to turn the cap back a quarter of a turn to make sure it is slightly loose. That way the bottle doesn't overpressurize during the sterilization process and break. I'm going to cover the cap with foil so excess water does not make its way into our media bottle. Once you're ready, we can put the media bottles into the pressure cooker. We're going to sterilize at 15 psi for 20 minutes. Please read the instructions and know how to operate your pressure cooker. Once it has been sterilized for 20 minutes, we'll let the pressure cooker depressurize naturally before we pour. Stay tuned for a future video on how to pour your LMS media properly. We'll also be posting videos on sterilizing tools and equipment in your pressure cooker. If you'd like a video on something specific or different techniques on how to pour, please leave a comment below. And if you want to skip the process of making your own LMS media, you can hit us up at breaking_veils on IG or email us at breakingveils@proton.me. And as always, like, subscribe, and share.